The Objective News Network? What is the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity as it relates to Taiwan? Hello, this is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. Today, we are going to take a look from the perspective of a critical thinker at the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity as it relates to Taiwan. During President Biden's recent visit to Asia, a reporter asked him whether the United States would get involved militarily if China attacked Taiwan. The president replied, "Yes, that's the commitment we made." White House officials, however, immediately reacted to clarify President Biden's statement, repeatedly trying to assure the Communist Chinese that the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity had not changed. So what exactly is the policy of strategic ambiguity? And is it a good policy idea or not? To help us get a better handle on the issue, we turn to a powerful new research tool called authentication. Authentication has the advantage of being able to independently help us validate virtually any assertion based on real supporting or debunking facts. Let's begin the process by putting our question of strategic ambiguity in proper historical context. You simply ask authentication for data that provides the historical context of U.S. Communist, Chinese, and Taiwan relations. Here you see authentication immediately begin to generate a list of credible data sets that provide the true historical context for the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity. From this data, we learn that before World War II, parts of China were under the control of three groups: the nationalists, the communists, and the Japanese, all fighting for control of different areas of China. The defeat of Japan at the end of World War II served to intensify the conflict between the nationalists and the communists for control of China. In 1945, with the possibility of an all-out civil war, U.S. Ambassador Pat Hurley, accompanied by the communist leader Mao Zedong, visited Chiang Kai-shek, the head of the nationalists. On October 10, 1945, Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong reached an agreement, in principle, to work for a united and democratic China. But before the agreement could be consummated, intense fighting between the nationalists and communist troops broke out. That same year, President Truman dispatched George C. Marshall to China to bring the nationalists and the communists back to the negotiating table. By 1947, however, Marshall had failed and left China as nationalists and communist extremists continued to wage all-out civil war. By the end of 1945, virtually all of mainland China was under communist control. The nationalists eventually all fled to Formosa, the area that we now know as Taiwan, with the continuing support of the United States. To this day, the Communist Chinese government does not recognize Taiwan as independent and maintains that Taiwan rightfully remains a province of China. Thus, the People's Republic of China espouses the one China policy in all dealings with other countries of the world, including the United States. The United States, on the other hand, continues to support the government of Taiwan. Close American relations with Taiwan continue to be the cause of political and military tensions between the Communist Chinese and the United States. These tensions have significantly escalated in recent years with the expansion of Communist China's territorial claims and their growing military presence in the South China Sea. Tensions have also been exacerbated by Russo-Chinese cooperation in attempting to justify Russia's recent invasion of Ukraine. So, what exactly is the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity? Again, turning to authentication, we simply type in the question in the form of an assertion. Immediately, a list of reference data sets is generated by authentication, and they begin to immediately appear on our computer screen. The data sets are listed in order of their source and credibility. For example, as we see here, an immediate listing of several credible data sites telling us what the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity means in relation to Taiwan appears. The data set tells us that the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity is a conditional response to secure U.S. interests in the region in the event of a crisis. In other words, our commitment to defend Taiwan depends on the particular conditions that would lead to such a conflict in the first place. Many experts contend that it is this ambiguity, or vagueness, that allows the United States to simultaneously maintain positive relations with both the Communist People's Republic of China and the Democratic Republic of China, Taiwan. Others contend that times have so significantly changed with Communist China's emergence as a world superpower that the United States needs to clarify that the U.S. is firmly committed to the military defense of Taiwan in the event of an attack by the Communist Chinese. From here, using the authentication software, we can simply type in the assertion: the U.S. strategic ambiguity policy as it relates to Taiwan is a good idea. The software immediately uses the power of supercomputing to search the internet to harvest and bring back multiple data sets from their many different sources ranked in order of their credibility. These credible data sets help to put the issue in deeper context by gathering data that looks at all sides of the strategic ambiguity issue. Here, you can see authentication identifying different data sets from across the internet that are brought directly to the user. Again, each data link appears in order from the most credible to the least credible, depending on the proven intellectual credibility of the source. The result is a powerful, data-driven, no human-in-the-loop, point-counterpoint research tool that gives you the correct data you need to make up your own mind based on only provable facts. Collectively, these data sets set forth the pros and cons of a United States policy of strategic ambiguity as it relates to Taiwan. The pros look like this. First, strategic ambiguity can restrict any unilateral decisions by both sides of the strait. On the other hand, it can prevent a declaration of independence from the Taiwan side on the assumption that the United States will surely come to its aid. Second, strategic ambiguity allows the United States to hide its cards in the various scenarios that may arise in the cross-strait relationship. Beijing will think twice about harming Taiwan because it doesn't know for certain how the United States will respond and to what degree. Third, by pledging a binding security commitment, Washington cannot guarantee full control over when and where its military will engage with China. The cons look like this. First, the use of force by the United States would hardly persuade the Communist Chinese to back down from a decision to invade Taiwan, given the recent gains in Communist Chinese military capability, rising nationalism, and China's expansionary moves in South Asia. Second, the majority of the Taiwanese people believe that the U.S. will not allow China to invade Taiwan, creating the mindset among the Taiwanese people that they don't have to defend themselves, since the United States will intervene to protect them. Third, and therefore, if maintaining the Taiwanese first island chain and containing China are top priorities of U.S. foreign policy in the region, then the notion of strategic clarity, and along with it, rapid military deployment to strengthen Taiwan's defenses and deterrence capability, represents a viable alternative. Now that authentication has armed us with some of the facts on both sides of the issue, the rest of the answer is up to you. After looking at the issue of strategic ambiguity in Taiwan, what do you think the United States should do? We look forward to seeing your ideas at our ONN blog. It is what it is for September 11th, 2022. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. We hope to see you next time.